greenteaguru.co.uk offers green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, and we absolutely love pu-erh tea with offerings of Misty Peaks, Yunnan sourcing, Munghai, and Shaguan. We regularly visit Hong Kong and Guangdong, sourcing out very interesting and special cakes for your tea table. Green Tea Guru, based in UK with worldwide delivery. Welcome again to greenteaguru.co.uk, and I'm here today with my good friend and Green Tea Guru customer Mark.
Hello.
Hello Mark.
Hi there.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoy this, we might do a few more. We'll see how it goes. So Mark, you've enjoyed some of the teas that I provide.
Indeed.
What sort of, do you know what sort of teas are your favourite so far? The ones you've been looking through and
Probably the Jasmine Pearls is got to be my favourite, followed by I do like all of the raw pu-erh teas.
Yeah,
So
cool.
today,
Okay. We've got a ripe pu-erh.
excellent.
Yeah. How many of these have you tried that you know of?
I think probably one.
One. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
I've forgotten. No, I did a long time ago. Can't remember.
Okay. So it's going to be really interesting to hear what you have to think about this tea, how it compares to maybe the one you tried before, and what kind of tastes you get from it.
Yeah.
So you know that's why we're doing this. I'm not looking for tea experts to bring feedback about this particular tea. It's good to get feedback from people that may just be getting into tea and see how they think about it. So, do you want to have a quick sniff at the tea?
Yes, please. So
What are
it's
you getting?
it smells quite. You can tell the difference between raw and ripe.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you know the main difference between raw and ripe pu-erh?
No.
Very simply, the raw pu-erh is, if you like, it's alive. It's still fermenting.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of like a green tea if you think about it. This one has gone through a fermentation process. Okay, so it's fully fermented.
Right, okay.
That's why it's completely different. It's like chalk and
so
cheese. This particular cake is from a brand called Hai Lang Hao. Okay, he's based in Kunming in Yunnan. He's a fairly small scale producer, which has been going for a while. A good sort of 10 to 15 years. I picked this cake out of about 6 or 7 that I tried. For many reasons. First, of course, is taste. I like this one compared to the rest of them. But this is a 2010 cake. It was pressed in 2010, and he used leaves from different years. So there's 2003 leaves in here. There's 2008 and 2009.
It's a bit of a cocktail.
It's a bit of cocktail, but he's really good at what he does. So we have our little setup here.
Indeed.
You got this from Green Tea Guru, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
It's still going strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solid bamboo table.
Really good.
The good thing about this tea, opposed to something like raw pu-erh, is that you have the choice in that you can brew it like we're brewing today, which is gong fu, which is a series of short infusions, or and I do this quite a lot. Mrs. Guru, she's an absolute ripe pu-erh fiend. So what we sometimes do is we just get all the leaves that we're going to brew and we put it into a big teapot, throw in the water, leave it for about 10 minutes, and serve. It really is that easy. Some people like to brew this tea very weak, and some people, like my wife, like it very strong. So it gives you the option. And if it is too strong for you, add more water. If it's too light, leave it for a longer period of time. So as always, what we're going to do, we're going to leave the tea leaves for about 5-10 seconds. Done the first rinse, please have a little whiff and see what you're getting from the aromas.
It's very planty.
Yeah.
And a lot of the words I use are a bit strange for tea, but
No, we like that.
a lot of the pu-erhs are quite earthy,
Right.
and this one smells a little bit more lively than.
So you're saying, comparing to the ripe pu-erh you've had before, which was quite earthy, this is a little bit more lively.
I think, and in comparison to the raw ones as well.
Okay, okay. It's interesting you said lively, and that's because Hai Lang Hao the way he does his fermenting is he doesn't take the tea right to the edge of fermentation. He brings it back a bit.
Okay.
So it's retaining a bit of its original character. So it's going to have a little bit more of a bite than normal. It's going to be very smooth because as teas get older, they smoothen out. But the lively experience is probably down to that.
Yeah, that's what it smells
so,
like.
shall we have our first go?
Yes, please.
All right. So, as I said before, 5 seconds infusion. I'm going to pour it straight into our fair cup. There we go, the first infusion. And just also to say, this is a 2010, and as I mentioned before, it's got the vintages from 2008, 2009, and 2003.
Oh, okay.
So it's a real interesting blend.
Bit of a cocktail of teas.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the first infusion. Let's see what we think. We've got the mammoth share there. Fairly, you're getting it, yeah?
Flavour comes alive in your mouth almost.
This is actually pretty light. It's the first infusion. I haven't done it for a very long. So it's kind of like a hint towards the flavours you can get if you left it a little bit longer or further infusions.
That's really nice. That's a kind of tea that you could just drink all day. You wouldn't get sick of that, I don't think.
It's really good for you as well. Very nice. And it's a shame you haven't tried many other ripe pu-erhs as well, because you can really tell the difference between, say, we're in 2015 right now. No, we're not. 2016.
Just.
I'm not even adapted to it yet. In 2016, if you tried a production that was made in 2014, the flavour would still be there, but the sort of background texture wouldn't be as smooth.
I see what you mean about smoothness.
It just sort of rolls down.
Definitely.
Right, let's do infusion number 2. Right, infusion number 2. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. But I'm also going to fill up the kettle a little bit more as well. Let's fill up the kettle, fill up the teapot.
The teapot, yeah. Kettle pot.
And this is really useful. It's a tea strainer. And I'm putting it on top of our fair cup.
I've not seen one of these before, actually. That's quite cool.
What, the strainer?
That's quite a handy way of doing it.
It is handy because in all tea, you will have the odd rogue little bits of leaf flying out, and it's better that this thing catches it than you have a nasty surprise that ends up in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is looking a little bit darker. Let's see what happens with this one. I'm making a right old mess, aren't I?
Skillfully done, I was going to say.
Alright, infusion number 2. Let's go. Hey.
Sorry, smelling. It smells richer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the taste is really coming out now.
It's coming out, yeah.
It's really nice.
What sort of... I know it's quite hard, but what could you sort of... how could you describe the flavour? So far.
Do you know what? It was easier for me when I hadn't had as much green tea,
right,
to describe the flavours. But now it's sort of a tea flavour. Is all I can really say. That's a really unhelpful thing to say.
Better than something like kangaroo flavour.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this is it's very sort of. It makes me think of it does make me think of leaves. Like a lot of the teas that I have, you know, the sort of the what was the Dong Ding Oolong.
That's right.
You know, you think of like nuts and things like that.
Yes, yes. You know what? Weirdly, my aunties came over and they tried that. They were getting German, maybe not German, but sausage, like delicatessen sausages.
I can understand. Yeah, I can see that.
I get it as well.
And there were a lot of sort of oolongs that reminded me of like milk.
Was that milk oolong by any chance?
Yeah, it would have been. And you know the raw pu-erhs that I normally have.
Yeah.
Sort of very earthy kind of flavours. But this is sort of leafy, planty, kind of like. It just makes me think of leaves and plants. It's nothing specific, but it's really easy to drink.
You know what? With ripe pu-erh, the difference in flavours and the textures, etc., are not as profound as what can be found in raw pu-erh. Raw pu-erh is a huge spectrum.
Yeah.
But with ripe pu-erh, because of the fermentation process it's gone through, there is a marked difference between different teas and different vintages and different recipes. But they all lie within a certain restricted spectrum of flavour. I can tell from this is a beautiful tea because it's just, well, it's using those variant vintages and it's just smooth. And if you ask me, for the price, it's an absolute bargain. It's a great tea, this one.
It is really, really, really easy to drink. And you're right, very smooth. It seems to be getting smoother.
Background Marco, would you like a cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Background Marco will have a cup.
Get involved. Have you got another cup? Because I've only got two. Come in, Marco.
Come into the
Let's have a party. Alright, so you've been hearing all the descriptions of the tea.
Yeah.
Alright. And you know what? I love this tea, especially evenings after your main meal, or generally just chilling out in bed. You know, take a whiff. It's quite hot. Just watch out.
Reminds me of the farm.
Reminds you of the farm.
Yeah.
That's good. It's beautiful. The reason why I think this is a particularly good tea to drink, I mean, ripe pu-erh in general, in the evenings, is because in most cases the caffeine level has been kicked out of it. It's not like drinking a raw pu-erh where it's just give you a quick buzz. That's what I drink when I jump out and have to go out the house. But this is just so relaxing, and it's really good for your stomach as well. Alright. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I sometimes get little flavours like, I don't know, nods towards chocolate.
No, it's quite nice.
Cocoa.
I see what you mean.
Sometimes, and it's really interesting the way you can brew this, because as with all teas really, every time you brew it, it won't be the same as the last time. And I've brewed this sometimes where I've got a long line, it's hard to describe, but this sweetness just comes out of nowhere. It's almost like someone's added, you know, some sugar to it or something. But right now it's not quite there. It's just down to how you brew it. Maybe you've got to change the temperature or the time in which you're leaving it.
I've noticed that with the ones that I've been having.
But you can see it's quite thick if you're swishing it around the glass, around the cup. So as ripe pu-erh goes, this is kind of, I would say, it's not a super specialty. It's you know, it's not cheap, but it's not really expensive. And if you ask me, it's kind of hitting that sweet spot, because new ripe pu-erh, it hasn't got that smoothness, that roundness. You know, between 2 and 5 years, it just changes, it evolves. And if you ask me, this is absolutely perfect tea to drink now.
Really, really easy to drink as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I reckon we could probably, the way we're brewing this tea today, we could probably get, I'd say, 6 to 8 infusions out of it. But as I said before, there really is no problem at all just throwing it into a big teapot and throwing in some water. If it's too strong, just add more water. If it's not strong enough, just add some leaf. It's really that easy. I'm glad you enjoyed this.
Really nice.
Good to hear.
As it cools down in your mouth, I start to get sort of a milky kind of...
I get that, definitely.
It's almost a flavour and it's almost a texture.
I was going to say, to me, it's more like texture than flavour. It's kind of...
Yeah,
it's hard to describe.
It's really, really hard to describe.
But I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Guys, if you want to try this tea, please go to our shop, which is www.greenteaguru.co.uk. Until next time, happy cupping.
Happy cupping.